What is up, YouTube? My name is Eben, and this is Back to the Beginning, episode 10. This week we've made some trade. We made one trade. We traded one card for two cards, and we also bought a booster tin, which you can find in episode 9. And you can click my link to my channel down below and find it very easily. Playlist is on the homepage and all that good stuff. So, what did we take out? Well, our energy count was still kind of high, and we did actually get an energy in. So, one thing we're pulling out is a fighting energy. We only have one fighting Pokemon, so realistically, we only need two fighting energies. The third was a little much, so we're pulling this out. We have two Professor's Letters, so we can easily get Hawlucha EX what he needs, without having to stress about it. We're also pulling one Dark Energy, so we're down to 3 now. Because Darkrai himself rarely attacks. These are mainly acting like energies that are also free retreats. These are kind of like float stones for us because we do have some high retreats in the deck. So 4 was a little much. We can still make Darkrai attack if we need to, but mainly we're just facilitating our retreats, and 3 is enough for that. So those are out. And another one that's going out this week is Plusle. We already have a better alternative now since we busted the Deoxys, so there's no reason to keep it. Plus, we have a bit much in our Pokemon still, so we're going to try to trim that down, and this just seems like some extra weight that we need to drop. It doesn't even deal any damage in our deck, because we don't have the electric energy for it. Not that it would have done that much anyway. Another thing we're dropping is we're actually dropping 2 copies of Tierno. Losing some card draw power does hurt a bit, but we are putting in some cards that make our deck go faster anyway. So dropping Tierno just kind of makes sense. If we're going to put in more supporters later to kind of bring us up a little bit from our 13 that we're going to be running once we drop Tierno, that's okay, because we've got options that draw us more cards and or search things a little bit better. So we've got better options. So we might as well drop Tierno now. We're also dropping our rare Whiscash this week. It seems a little strange, but we did actually get another Whiscash as part of our trade. We got the other Whiscash. And the other card we traded out was our Rough Seas, because it managed to get us 2 very good cards. It was, sometimes you got to trade away something you kind of feel like you want or need to get something you need more. So that's kind of what we did this week. And especially with that Rough Seas, this guy's just not that great. And his absorption of energy is something that's, can be a little painful. And while he's won me a couple of games I've played around with in this deck, the biggest match we've had against the most competitive opponent we've ever had was one with the other Whiscash and not this guy. So it's kind of a tough call, but this is one of those just a little bit more utility things. He's not necessarily bad for us, but he needs kind of a different deck built around him to really make him shine. So those 7 cards are out, because remember there's also Rough Seas that we traded away, which is gone. So these cards are going away this week. And in their place, we traded our Rough Seas to get a double colorless energy and a Whiscash. This Whiscash has actually been very useful for us, mainly because a lot of more competitive opponents, their Pokemon only have like 1 attack or 1 attack of any note. So for 1 energy of any type, Amnesia just completely shuts them down. Plus, Whiscash plays well with double colorless energy, which is something a lot of Pokemon in our deck do. So he fits right in kind of with the crowd. It's nice to have another one. The others have been useful, and now we've got a third one to kind of up our consistency. And this double colorless energy obviously is going to help us a lot. It helps Whiscash, it's going to help Hawlucha, and it's going to help our new EX that we got this week, speaking of which. From our tin opening, we got Swampert EX. This guy is finally adding some more muscle to us, and it's in our type, which is our main type, which is water, which is awesome. So it's very good that we got that. His damage is going to be a little questionable, and his energy power-up is a little questionable right now. But still, it's adding some much-needed muscle, and supporting him, that'll be pretty easy. Adding that second double colorless energy supports him quite well already, and I think that in 1 or 2 weeks, this guy can really put in some good work for us. In fact, if we can get him a couple of matches this week, I think he's going to put work in for us right now, with our deck not necessarily being any more aggressive about it. We've also added 2 Ultra Balls. We do have a tendency to have some extra cards hanging out in our hand. This will be a great way to use them to go get our Dive Ball sure can get Greninja EX or, say, Whiscash or Milotic, but it can't touch in on Hawlucha, and it can't get us Darkrai, which these Ultra Balls can. And of course, they can get us our water types too. So these are just really adding to our utility, trying to speed us up by a couple of turns. Speaking of things that search our deck, we're adding the Trainer's Mail that we opened out of our tin as well. This can get us all kinds of good stuff, anything from Ultra Ball to our Muscle Band to Professor's Letter. This is just, once again, kind of making us more efficient, which is what we're hurting on the most. And our final addition, as if you hadn't guessed it already from episode 9, is our Acrobike. Ooh, it's foily. We had to trade the Acrobikes that came with our deck quite a few episodes back, which kind of hurt a little bit, but at the time we really needed to make it happen and our trade options were limited. Now we've got another shot at getting Acrobike back in the deck, and I'm very excited about that. While discarding cards to our discard pile isn't necessarily something our deck really wants to do, we do have some extra cards usually that we don't need. So out of the top 2 of our deck, we'll probably easily find one we want and one we don't want as much. And we're digging 2 cards deeper toward other things, if nothing else. Useful, it speeds us up, and since this is digging through our deck a little bit, it kind of makes up for the loss of Tierno as well. So these are our additions for this week for episode 10. By episode 11, we're going to be talking, we're going to be hopefully doing mostly trades, if I can make that happen. If not, we'll do another pack opening. If you have a strong preference, let me know down below in the comment section. If not, I'm going to do whatever I please, and you'll have nobody to blame but yourself. However, hopefully I'll be bringing you some match results against different opponents to let you know how this deck has fared, what it's been able to do, what it's missing. And this will kind of help us, hopefully the idea is here we can start thinking critically about our decks, how they're constructed, and what makes them good at certain things and need work in certain other areas. So anyway, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channels for more Pokemon content.